Welcome back, everyone. 13 and a half after the hour. And today, as we go behind the headlines, we take a look at the persecution of Minnesota mom Angela Brown. If you were with us for Hour 2, Toker Talk Radio yesterday, you heard directly from Michael Hughes of Bend, Oregon, who is the attorney representing Angela Brown. And Michael Hughes is also a good friend of the show and shows up in the second hour in our chat room under the handle Speed Limit. So if you see Speed Limit in the chat room, that's Michael Hughes, the attorney for Angela Brown. He joined us on the show yesterday to give us an update on the motions he filed, and now the information has made it to the Grand Forks Herald, and just wanted to give you some info from that. If you're looking at our webcam, you can see Angela on the far right, as well as her husband David in the middle, and her 15-year-old son Trey on the left. And Angela, the mom, is treating Trey, the son, for a traumatic brain injury. Sorry, too many things going on. A traumatic brain injury he suffered when he was hit with a baseball a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And because of this, she is now facing prosecution. So Michael Hughes filed motions in the district court to dismiss the charges against her, which include child endangerment because she gave CBD oil to her brain-injured 15-year-old. Michael Hughes and Angela Brown made their way to the Pantry Cafe in downtown Madison, where they met with reporters and said they are prepared to go to trial if necessary. Angela Brown asks the reporters, quote, "How is endangering your child taking his pain away? If someone answers that for me, fine, charge me. But until someone can explain to me how preventing pain is wrong, then I will continue to plead not guilty." End quote. Now, the county she lives in has filed 2 gross misdemeanor charges of endangering a child, permitting a child to be present when possessing a controlled substance, and contributing to the need for child protective services. And here's the ironic reason why this happened. The boy had been hit. The 15-year-old kid had been hit. What was this? 2011, was it? 2000. I lost the date, but the April of 2011. He was hit by a baseball, and he, of course, suffered from his injury and was having problems in school. And so she went to Colorado to get cannabis oil. And she brought the cannabis oil back and was using it in Minnesota to treat her son. So her son starts doing better, right? I mean, previously, he was having such great pain that he was self-harming, right? He'd be curled in a fetal position. He broke his nose. He broke his clavicle and had suicidal ideation. The mom says, quote, "He flat out said, 'I don't want to live. I can't deal with this pain anymore.'" End quote. And the mom had tried 19 different prescriptions on the boy. 19 different prescriptions to no avail. 4 months of horrific suffering that he had from some of the prescribed medications. And then goes and finds that a drop or 2 of cannabis oil takes care of the kid's pain. He's laughing, he's enjoying life, and of course his concentration improves because he's not in severe pain, and he starts doing better in school. So the school people wanted to know what was going on, what had changed, why had Trey Brown gotten such improvement in his life. And so she explained, well, I've been giving him cannabis oil. And that's what led them to call Child Protective Services, and that's what has led to the child endangerment charges against this woman. Now, the other part that makes this so disgusting is that, number one, and Michael Hughes pointed this out and told us yesterday about this. Number one, for a child endangerment charge, the reason that's usually brought about when there's a parent caught with weed or drugs of any kind is because of the inherent violence that you find in a prohibited market. Right? Drug dealers carry guns, and sometimes bad things go down. And if you have your kids around that, well, then you're a bad parent, right? That's the theory behind this. But what she had was a non-intoxicating cannabis oil. There's no way it would be involved in any drug deal going bad. and wouldn't get anybody high, and was such a small amount, it doesn't even really match what the sentencing guidelines are for child endangerment in this case, or prosecution guidelines. And to make this worse, Minnesota passed a medical marijuana law that goes into effect in July of 2015. And this medical marijuana law includes traumatic brain injury as something you can get the medical marijuana for. And the medical marijuana law makes that exact cannabis oil that she got from Colorado, makes it perfectly legal. So in about 8 months, what she's been doing is going to be legal anyway. And yet this county wants to move forward with this. Michael Hughes told the court, quote, "In my opinion, it is science fiction to claim cannabis has no medical use in the United States," end quote. And he pointed out that there are 33 states that allow some sort of medical use. Now, the assistant county attorney, Rebecca Trapp, didn't challenge his motions. He filed a couple of motions to dismiss and told the judge she would file her written responses to the defense. Her responses are due January 2nd. And then Michael Hughes will be able to respond to them by January 9th. And then the court has 90 days to rule on whether or not it gets dismissed. So Angela Brown will be hanging out in limbo, worried about whether or not she's going to get prosecuted for treating her son with CBD oil for the next 3 months. In the meantime, she's thinking about moving to Colorado so she can treat her kid.